Why is this defense such a unique challenge?
They do a lot. They communicate. They disguise very well. They'll show you something and then rotate to another coverage. There's ability to pressure players from all three levels, from the front, from the linebackers, and from the third level. So you'll get different personnel groupings that we'll have to be ready for. We'll get different movements and run pressures and coverages where the quarterback has to be aware, whether it's man or some kind of rolled trap coverage, that we have to be careful that where we're throwing the football.
Coach Vrabes knew the shape of things to come. Welcome into Boston has entered the chat Thursday, August 14th. I like to call it Friday Eve. Here inside our Salem 5 studios, Travis Thomas and the Casey Hudson in the house. How are you?
Fabulous, absolutely fabulous, and clearly the vibes are very high. I didn't mean to show up to work matching the entire set.
Brilliant.
Just wanted to be comfortable on
Clap
this
it up
Thursday,
for everyone. Brilliant work from Casey Hudson.
Yes.
Brilliant work.
But I'm in a great mood. I don't know how Patriots players are feeling. They might have mixed emotions.
Yeah, well, there was good, there was bad, and there was ugly from the joint practice. We'll get into all three. So we'll tell you how they fared against the Vikings in that. Plus, I always say this, Case, you know this. This is a show for the people, by the people, so we will hear from you. Let me give the number out now because it's a long line. Get in here, 617-790-0928. We will hear from you, all your voicemails in this very program. Remember, you can catch a full hour of Boston has entered the chat, 8 a.m. on Nesson, 9 a.m. right here on Nesson Nation. Okay, let's get into this joint practice with the Vikes now.
Let's talk.
You heard Vrabel there. That was before the joint practice started, saying how this defense, you can't mess around with the Vikings. Brian Flores is a great defensive coordinator. We understand all that.
Yep, it was the neon sign.
Of course.
Beware.
Beware. They will throw the kitchen sink at you. And they did. Sure enough, because we saw this all day, you and I, Case, coming out. So here's Phil Perry tweeting, roller coaster day for the Patriots offense in joint practice numero uno. Drake May finished 13 for 21. Okay. He hit long touchdowns to Mac Hollins and your guy, Travion Henderson. Rough time, though, for the offensive line, allowing 6 sacks. He counted 2 off Will Campbell's rookie side.
That was a weird Ric Flair woo I just did there.
Do it again. Do it again. Phil Perry goes on. Brian Flores gave Patriots pass protectors all they could handle. During one stretch, when he brought extra rushers, or at least he showed all-out blitzes, the Patriots allowed 3 consecutive sacks. That ain't good, Case. That ain't good.
Spell it out for me. Back to back to back. Yeah, and not championship style, by the way. So that's
back to back sack.
Yeah.
Sack lunch all day long.
Yeah. Well, the neon sign was out ahead of practice, and some things that Vrabel picked up on and mentioned that I think is going to kind of translate into the rest of what we talk about is he saw how well the Vikings communicate. And that's going to point some arrows and kind of expose the communication level for the Patriots thus far. The rotation of coverage, I mean, we talked about it yesterday. You're talking about a team that can throw a lot at you and throw these ridiculous disguises in the blink of an eye. And then QBs have to be aware. And this is something that Drake May kind of felt a little bit of a pinch of pain on in the first preseason game, but he's going to feel it on a whole nother level with just how quick he has to be to recognize and be aware and make sure that he can communicate for his team. So 3 things that Vrabes saw out of the Vikings are 3 things that the Patriots are going to have to develop on a little bit quicker as we get through the season.
Well, here's a positive of this is that I think Brian Flores is different than most coordinators and most coaches in this league in a sense of he doesn't give a damn that it's a joint practice or it's a preseason game or it's a walkthrough. He doesn't care. He calls things the same way as he would in a regular season or a playoff game. I think that's an advantage for the Patriots because unlike the Commanders.
They're getting a realistic workload now.
Yes. I was at the joint practice for the Commanders and it was very competitive. It was great. But I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like Drake May wasn't under duress against them, too. He was. And that's a pretty good defense. Not as good as the Vikings. But I just think because now you're going up against a team that will literally show you everything they got going and you're seeing where you're weak, that helps you build off of that. Now, some of this is personnel-based, too. This is the worst offensive line I've seen in my lifetime the last couple of years.
Lifetime?
Yes. Even with rookies now, I still feel as though this line is an upgrade over what I've watched for 2 seasons. Casey, I feel like I'm in a straitjacket at Nesson watching these games because I would rather watch any damn thing else. This offensive line has been so bad the last 2 years that I do think even with the rooks, it is an upgrade, okay? With that being said, it isn't going to be great. So you have to schematically, this is Josh McDaniels now.
Yeah.
You got to figure this out, man, because even though this is an upgraded offensive line, it's not a great upgraded offensive line. So you got to get the ball out of Drake May's hands, quick pass, and in a hurrah. You got to get him on the move. You just have to kind of figure this out. I think it will be a work in progress. But I think the Vikings now, at this stage, August, whatever it is, what I say coming in, you know,
14th.
the 14th, at this stage now, I feel as though it's good to get that out of the way now and say, boy, we have a lot of work to do to improve this.
No, I think it's a perfect point to be made. Like, we said it from the beginning. This is one of the best tests that they can get, and I think it's very well timed to have this kind of test because we can talk about an emotional roller coaster of a joint practice. I mean, there were certain parts to the joint practice last week, and then there was like tensions and emotions very high. And they came out and had a great preseason. So I know I keep using the word a lot, but it's the most accurate word to use, especially with a team that's only looking to make progress, not perfection, is adjustments. We saw adjustments being made. It wasn't a sexy start versus the Commanders in the first, in the offense's first go. So to know that they're going to go against a lot more aggression, what you really want to look out for here are the adjustments that they can make along the way, because this matchup, from what I saw from the joint practices, doesn't matter what either offense does. It's going to be about what each defense does, because J.J. McCarthy didn't look great either. If anything, him under pressure, he's throwing away the ball and turning it over time and time again. And that's been the narrative on his name since training camp day one. So I want to see which quarterback adjusts better. Drake May already knows the responsibility that lays on his shoulders, and he's really good at taking accountability. So at least that's the first step, accountability, and then how does he adjust from there? Hey, let's hear from QB1. Drake May, here he is on his performance during this joint practice.
Yeah, I think the guys at times, up there up front, I think I can help them out and be more demonstrative about where I want to send them and where I want them to go. But really, I think we blocked it up when we got it right, and I think there's times where they're going to get us. That's what he does. He tries to create kind of chaos, and I think it's good for us to see and know. And sometimes at the line, you may not know, hey, is this guy coming, or they're just bluffing that. So it's good for us to see it, and I think it's great for us to learn from.
Okay, so it wasn't all bad here either from the offense. We saw a lot of plays, coming over our timelines.
No, not just a lot of plays. We saw big plays.
Big plays, splash plays.
Thank you.
Splash plays where Drake May is just showing off the arm. I mean, look, this is the Travion Henderson, Casey's favorite Patriot.
The wheel route, is that what everyone was tweeting about?
He's just unreal. He's unbelievable. Look at that, Stephon Diggs absolutely cooking. I saw a lot of these clips where he's just cooking corners like nobody's business.
He's back, baby.
This is the other one I think we're about to watch, to Mac Hollins. It's weird. I never recognize him with shoes on his feet. It's strange. Yeah, that's Mac.
You can't realize that it's him. Rock's a pretty good number. And then how risky of him to kick the ball. So that's how you know he has shoes on, in case you didn't recognize
Well, his feet, I mean, at this point, they got to be strong as hell. He don't never wear no damn shoes. Those are hooves at this point. They ain't no damn feet.
Strong.
They hooves.
He's caveman strong.
Right, facts.
But to have the ability to be able to kind of throw these big plays into the mix, knowing that this defense gave you a run for it. They opened up practice very strong. They closed out practice very strong, them being the Vikings. But that in-between portion where Drake May can kind of have a few confident plays work in his favor and just continue to build trust. I mean, we know I'm high on Henderson at this point. It's been obvious. I've yelled it on every show. But, just to see how quickly he's coming up to speed and being a reliable target for Drake May, and we've talked about how crucial it's going to be able to have the run game and the difference between relying on run protection versus pass protection. At least we know where some of the reliability is going to come in so that this team can continue to move forward.
Well, we also just know that the defense is going to carry this team. You and I talk about this.
Yeah.
The defense of the Patriots, at least early on in the season, if not the whole season, but certainly, Casey, early on while the offense figures it out, you better carry this team. And you brought up J.J. McCarthy struggling. The defense is doing their part. So that's encouraging.
Yeah.
Because we both know, and we talk about the schedule too, how they come out. That first month of the season is a very gentle, launching point here for Mike Vrabel, I think. So that gives the defense an opportunity to go out there, wreak some havoc.
I don't want to underestimate it too much.
What, the what? The schedule?
Parts of the
Why
schedule.
not?
Well,
The first month?
Tell me if I'm wrong here.
All right.
It happens occasionally. There was a game or 2 or 3 where Crosby alone for the Raiders was so disruptive that it kept the game much closer than it needed to be. I mean, he was punching through and consistently making sure that this guy was taking a nap during a game. So
he's that good.
If we're talking about offensive lines that need to get up to speed a little bit more, like you're looking at matchups to where if they have one wrecking ball.
Okay, well, he's a wrecking ball. So the opener you're talking about, that's Vegas, but at least you get that at home. And again, I'm talking defensively. So the Raiders offense ain't scaring me. With a rookie running back and Geno Smith, please. Then you go to Miami, they're soft. You get Aaron Rodgers at least early in the season, so he's still trying to figure out his own deal, and who even knows if he's sober. Then you get the Panthers. I mean, I just think this first 4 or 5 games or so, you do have an opportunity defensively to send some messages there and to set the tone.
Yes, defensively
and
you have
and to
opportunities.
help your offense out.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing I didn't see, though, was Kyle Duggar now taking reps with the 2s and Jalen Hawkins in there with the starting unit. I mean, Mike Vrabel talked about this. I didn't see this coming. I like Duggar. I like his game. But Mike Vrabel said it's really mental when it comes to Duggar. Take a listen.
Well, I think just making sure that he's where he needs to be and understanding that the coverage concepts and everything we do keep working and keep progressing. A lot of this is the guys that have earned a right to take a look with that first unit. And again, that there'll be different lineups and different things, and so we'll just focus on the reps that you get. And right now that his attitude's been great, and he's had a long recovery in the off season. So just keep he's been out there and just continue to get better and work. And I think the more that he practices, the better he's going to feel, and the more that it's going to translate onto the football field.
Couldn't be you, Case, because you are always locked in. I think Duggar has a locked-in issue. And look, I think the guy's really talented. I'm a fan. I like his game. Vrabel's telling you right there, he's not closing the door on the kid. He's like, listen, he's got to get up to speed mentally and the new program and what we're trying to run here.
Yeah.
And if he does that, he can get back where he's supposed to be. I think he will. And I think it's cool that Vrabel's that kind of coach to check you, no matter what you make, no matter who you are. I think it sends a message to the vets. But I also think, too, this gives Duggar a chance to, go to another level.
Yes.
Bro, it can't just all be physical talent and gifts and traits. Mentally, you have to put it together, too, and learn this system. And Vrabel's telling him, if you do that, you get your spot back.
Yeah, and I think it speaks to how much more competitive this defense just got, especially if Duggar can get up to speed and be impactful. Then you're talking about depth on this defense, which every team, you can muscle out any other opponent by having depth on your side.
That's right.
We've seen a number of NFL teams, get off to a strong start because we talk about that being a potential possibility. But then, injuries happen, things happen, players can't show up all the time, and then that depth comes in hot for you. So I like from a positive perspective that there's compete on this defense and that there is potential to add more depth. But it's been said time and time again by the greats, those mental reps are just as important as the physical reps. So hopefully he figures it out, because I'd love to see there be more accountable depth for this defense.
Yeah, look, on the back end of the defense, means something to me too with this particular team, the personnel, how they're built. They have upgraded so much this offseason. In the front 7 case, the guys on the back better be ready. I think that's why Vrabel's like, listen, if you're not up to speed, kid, you got to get out of here.
Yeah.
Because I think he knows, Vrabel, having played this game at such a high level and won at such a high level here in town, he knows. The front 7, these guys are dogs. They're going to get to the quarterback. You're going to have opportunities on the back end to eat, but if you're not in the right position, Case, you're going to blow it.
Yeah.
So that's why he's not messing around. I think this defense has a potential. We all believe they'll be good. I think they do have a potential to be great, barring injury, of course. What team doesn't say that?
Yeah.
But with Vrabel, what he's teaching, what these guys are doing, even this move with Duggar tells me he's getting them where they need to be. I think this defense has a real shot to be something special here.
I think so. I believe in this defense. Taking it back to the front seven for just a second. I mean, Milton Williams has been very vocal about how much he's enjoyed being here.
Dog.
He had a pressure in joint practice yesterday, and we know the capability of him just being a complete hound dog.
Yes.
If that is the case. We know I'm high on Gonzalez. We know that I covered Carlton Davis for quite some time. So there's a lot of shutdown ability on that back end, too. That's why I just kind of stress the idea of, like, depth. You know what I mean? Because sometimes keeping safeties and cornerbacks healthy for an entire season is a tall task. Because along with the greatness that we were expecting from Gonzalez, how many people have been like, well, we need to make sure he can stay healthy.
Right.
Like that last year, can he do that this year? So I feel like there's a lot of good to come out of this defense. And whether it's there yet or not, it's going to have to get there because defense is going to be the edge for this Patriots team through the first couple of weeks.
I love it when you talk Pats to me. Get in here. You do it too. 617-790-0928. Call us if you want to talk Patriots. You know, Casey and I are tag team people's champs of the world, meaning we want to hear from you, meaning we're going to do it when we come back right here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. Get in here. Give us your voicemails. We'll hear from you next. And remember this. Get the latest up-to-date live. We've got Boston sports headlines along with your daily dose of trending sports and social topics every single weekday right here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. Catch us live at 8 a.m. on Nesson and 9 a.m. right here on Nesson Nation every Monday through Friday. Welcome back into Boston Has Entered the Chat, a show for the people, by the people. Call us 617-790-0928. We are dedicating, as we often do, an entire segment to you. So get in line if you want to call us. Let's start it off with a Patriots believer.
I wanted to go over some Patriot stuff you guys were just talking about. Will Campbell, okay, his measurables are that his arms are short. The immeasurable is the nasty that this kid has. Watch him play. There are plays that the lights turn on and they're just a different animal. And I think that's what this kid is going to show up to be. I think this kid is going to be a grinder and he's going to be dominant for us. And especially where people are underestimating him, I think that fires him up. The thing about the UF quarterbacks, I agree with that. Also, USC quarterbacks for the same reason. Basically, they're Division II. They're playing with all superior athletes. That's why you can't show. When's the last great USC quarterback? Burnt, never. Right? What was it? The kid from Cincinnati was the best. This Caleb Williams is going to be terrible. Drake May is going to be fine. I think you're going to see a development. I trust Vrabel. And you can see the professionalism in this whole organization now. And they're going to develop players. I'm not worried about the offensive line as much as I would have been. I think that there will be growing pains, but I think they're going to learn, and I think they're going to develop. Thank you, guys.
Great call. Get in here, get involved, just
Call
like he
back
did.
every single week.
Yeah, you agree with Casey. You're set for life, bro. 617-790-0928. Hey, the floor is yours. He agreed with everything you said.
You know, I just got to give a little extra love and shout out to the UF quarterback take. Again, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. It's just like science at this point, you know?
Science?
It's just science at this point. I can't even call it history. It's science. Yeah. Physio, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, honestly, love the voicemail, especially kind of the extra love and cushion for Campbell. I mean, just to refer to him as nasty, let's double down on that one for a second, because we saw some struggles. We heard of struggles out of training camp ahead of the joint practice versus the Commanders the other week, and we saw course correction come quickly. So when you talk about the mentality on a guy like this, the IQ on a guy like this, like, yeah, measurables being one thing, but when you can call him dominant, when you can call him nasty, when you just call him somebody who can foam at the mouth and make plays happen.
Rabies?
No, foam at the, come on now. That dog.
He needs a tetanus
shot. That dog,
shot.
foaming at the mouth. You guys will hear me say that a lot, but that's why your girl loved the physicality of football. He can foam at the mouth.
Facts.
I feel like he doesn't take it easy on mistakes.
Right.
Like, I feel like this is somebody that would obsess over it until he can fix it. And we've seen him fix it ahead of the joint practice for the Commanders. We saw him have a good first preseason game, you know, being bullish at the line and stuff. So I just feel like this is part of the growing pains for a guy like Campbell. And I think he has to be able to stick out this position for now and make it count.
Just to help my caller out, it was Carson Palmer you were thinking about, the SC Trojan quarterback who you said stunk in the league and all that. He didn't really stink. I blame the Bengals for that because when he got with Bruce Arians, who has a clue, look what Bruce Arians did with the guy. He could play. Also, I'm not punting just yet on Caleb Williams. I hear you. I see all the videos this summer. I get it. I'm skeptical, but I'm not giving up on the kid yet. I think he could potentially be special. We'll see. I know they want him to be in Chicago for show. All right, here's a Red Sox fan on Jarren Duran. Take a listen.
I think Duran should be definitely in the top 15. I don't understand he's not even on the list. Also, Chapman as a reliever should be considered, but they don't like putting pitches on that much unless they're a starter. All right, have a happy day. Good show.
Thank you, my friend. Hey, I agree with you about Chapman. He should be on the list as well. And actually, what we were talking about yesterday.
Dude, Chapman's a stone cold.
He is. He's a killer. He's a killer. He should be top 50. We agree with you there. But to give you context of the conversation yesterday, we weren't saying Jarren Duran wasn't a top 50, not 15. Slow down. 50 player. We weren't saying he wasn't. We were saying you could make the case he could be, and also Casey was saying Trevor Story as well. That's all.
Yeah. I was looking at Trevor Story's numbers and Duran's and just kind of saying how, like, they kind of do this little dance of statistically sometimes, like, stolen bases. That was Duran's thing earlier in the season or the first half, per se, and now Trevor Story, we've seen how he's just come to life. I called him the pulse of the team in a number of ways, but I agree. I mean, he could make a case for top 50. I wouldn't have him in top 15 at the moment, but there's still so much room to grow to get to that top 15.
Sure.
Because you're talking about somebody who's probably just at the beginning of being an elite player in MLB.
Yeah, I guess our biggest point from that conversation yesterday was that you needed more than 2 Red Sox players in the top.
Yeah, you needed Bregman out of that 49 spot and way
moved
higher
up,
for
yes.
sure.
And then you
could have slid someone else.
Chapman, Story, Duran. I made the case yesterday for Roman Anthony. More on that in a minute because someone thought I was a moron for suggesting that. And
I love
cool.
the Chapman take though, and like of course I always bring it back to music somehow.
Yeah.
One of the best walkout songs, Willie Colon.
Oh, do you do your look? I knew it. There it is. Take her, Jenna. That's a move right there. Kay stays in that pocket all night. She can dance all night and not sweat because she stays in that pocket right there, right here. Let's go to Alan from Lawrence, but he resides in Arizona. He's family to the program. Take a listen.
This is Alan from Arizona, originally from Lawrence. I agree with a lot of your points. I love that Breggy is showing that he's healthy again. He's really starting to take a lead. Roman Empire is rising. And I just think the team has just developed into who they are throughout the season, and now that they're on a stride. And I think they're just going to continue in with that. The important thing is that Crochet continues to dominate. And then I do agree, there's something about that energy at Fenway at this team, because they are a mix of young and veteran, that it just helps them and inspires them, especially Duran. I think Duran loves being at home. Thank you, guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and go Red Sox.
My man, Alan. You know we love you here, Alan. Keep the calls coming, brother. We always get to you. You know that. Look, he's right. This team is fun and scrappy, especially at Fenway. I can't disagree with anything he said. My only concern is that we're not going to get enough games at Fenway in the postseason. That's my concern at this point.
Yeah, you
but,
made that case.
This team is just, last night's another example of, like, they're just so Jekyll and Hyde, where it feels like sometimes the pitching lets you down, but the bats can lift you up. And then when the pitching's on, then the bats go cold. It's like I can't keep up with it.
Yeah.
They can get a little more consistent with that. This is going to be a very dangerous team come the postseason, especially at Fenway.
Yeah, I'm hoping that now it feels like they're finding their drive when it comes to the lineup.
Yeah.
It's not changing as much as we were seeing. Then once you get that consistency going, or that cohesion going, then, we can find some consistency in the mix here. I love the take on Duran loving to play at Fenway. He does seem to just have an extra light in his eye when it comes down to being here, being home, being amongst the fans. Thrives off of that. Tomorrow, that could be real big in the rally sense of thriving off of the fans and being at Fenway. You guys will have to stick around to find out why, though.
No doubt. Great tease by you. Look, I said this as the trade deadline was getting closer and Duran's name was in every damn trade possible. And I said, I get the business side if you move him. However, you can't quantify what he brings to this team in terms of those things you just said.
Millar called him the makeup.
He is. He is. Being a spark plug, sort of the emotional leader of this clubhouse. You can't quantify those things. The Red Sox agreed with us and said, you ain't going nowhere, my friend. All right, here's a Patriots hater on why they aren't a believer in this team at all.
Hi, first of all, in regards to Drake May, what did Drake May do at North Carolina? He didn't do much. He's just an above-average quarterback. I don't think they're going to do that well. I'd be surprised if they win 6 games. And Mike Vrabel, what did he do at Tennessee? They never won any major championships and this and that and that and this. He is no Bill Belichick. The biggest mistake the Kraft family did because of his son, who was very envious of Belichick, they got rid of Belichick. They should never have done that, okay? I don't think they're going to win 6 games, and their heyday is over, okay? And I think that the statue of Tom Brady, the guy that made the statue, is a gifted genius. It's right on, it's right on, it's right on. That's all I got to say. I'm telling you, they're not going to win more than 6 games. Thank you very much. Good night.
Okay, there's so much to do here.
Well,
First of
thank you
all,
for calling.
who hurt you? Like what? Who hurt
Still
you,
take
bro?
the call.
Who
Where
hurt
do you want to start? QB
I
or
want to
Vrabel?
start every damn
Okay.
where. First of all, I lost plenty of money betting on Drake May at UNC. Can I tell you what I learned in watching these games where my pockets bled over and over again every damn Saturday? Drake May was the least of the problems. You're talking about Drake May at UNC. He was the best thing that ever happened to that program. On the football side, what are you talking about? He didn't have a line. He didn't have receivers. He didn't have running backs. It's one of the reasons why I said he's going to work in the NFL, because he knows how to make a 5-star meal with nothing. Like, he's got ramen noodles, and he's going to make it work. So I don't know why you blaming Drake May. And then you say 6 games, I'll take it. I'll take it. I sat here for 2 years and watched this team scratch and claw and barely get to 4 wins. You mean to tell me if this team wins 6 wins and maybe they're in these other games that they're losing, it's a more entertaining product? I'll take that in year 1 of Vrabel. What's the problem with 6 wins? By the way, they're going to win more than that. At least you like the statue. At least he gave the statue some love. I mean, damn, dog, you don't like anything. It's a nice day out. Are you going to say it's crappy too?
Can I tap in here?
Yes.
Okay, because the one thing that I appreciate our caller calling in about and being wrong about is what is Vrabes going to do? What did he do at Tennessee? Within 6 seasons, 3 postseason appearances in an AFC championship, he played in a championship game, and he came into a team that was all over the place when he first got to Tennessee.
Yes.
So bringing correction, identity, culture, and establishing an era has been established on his resume.
Case, who's the stars on that Tennessee team outside of Derrick Henry besides no one? He beat Belichick in a playoff game. Come on, man.
Yeah, we got to just distribute the respect a little better.
I actually think we should end it right here with someone calling me a moron. Here's a caller who suggests that I'm crazy for saying Roman Anthony is top 50 in the game. Listen.
First off, I'm pretty sure he's a rookie. He's only been playing for 1 month. And I mean, that's been an incredible 1 month, but you can't say he's a top 50 player when there's 50 other players that can blow right past him.
Man, I want you to call back and tell me the 50 better than him. Now, here's where I can't push back, okay? I get it. I know what you're saying, that how can I suggest that he's top 50? He hasn't done it long enough. I'm with you. But even in that call, did you hear him? He said, but it has been stellar. Bro, yeah, that's all I was suggesting, is that we were saying there should be more Red Sox in the top 50. That's all. Mm-hmm. And I said Roman Anthony deserves some consideration as well. Now, he didn't make it. Okay, what are we going to do? Protest? I get it. But I do think the season he's had, the impact he's made as a rookie, I mean, hell, we saw this in the NFL last season with Jaden Daniels. There were people suggesting he should be the MVP of the league, Casey.
Yeah,
as a rook.
The small differences that I'll point out is the fact that Roman Anthony didn't get off to a hot start. Jaden Daniels was consistent in the sense of day one, it was wait, could he do something? Every game was could he? Could he? He is. Oh my gosh, for real. Wow, here we are, postseason MVP conversation.
Sure.
Whereas Roman, it was he was feeling it out. He was getting situated. He was showing glimmers of like being the great that we thought he was going to amount to. And then, you know, there were some cold moments there. Second half of the season has really picked up for him, though, especially the previous month. I'll say notably, I wouldn't imagine him not breaking this top 50 within the next season or two. That's
oh
for
my
sure.
God,
like,
he's going to be a
no
fixture.
Way.
Top 10. He might help the way his career's looking like it's going to go. He's going to be a top 10 guy.
Yeah, just between the time of the call up and the time of him getting situated, like, yeah, that argument can be valid.
Hey, if you want to get your hands on some Boston Has Entered the Chat merch, go to NessonWickedWearables.com so you can get that swag up, get that drip. We'll be back here on Boston Has Entered the Chat. Roll with us. Time now to see what's trending in the world of sports and your group chat as well, because Casey and I are all up in that. 617-790-0928. You want to get involved? We just had a segment where we went through all voicemails from you, and we're always ready for more. So bring it on. You can also email us at chat@nesson.com. You can tweet at us using the hashtag NessonChat. You know, not everyone feels comfortable calling in. So we provide a plethora of ways for you to get a hold of us. All right, here's what's trending. Did you see this? Bruins players attended the 14th annual back to school celebration at TD Garden. I saw James Hagens even in the house. Mason Lohrei was out there teaching the youngins how to play, Case.
I know. It was really cute to see Mason Lohrei working with this little girl, trying to help her set up for a shot. You could see she was super nervous at first. Here's Hagens also helping kids get situated with some shooting technique. Some things you'd love to see out of the future of the Bees. Something else that Hagens, I wonder if they call him Hags yet. I get
Got to, right?
I mean, I'm jumping to it because I had Brendan Hagel that I covered, but yeah, Hags. He gave a little insight to him going back to Boston College. He said, you know, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and you can already tell, very smart dude, but like, clearly he's having some conversations where he realizes like there's an approach to have longevity in the NHL and, you know, not trying to make a splash too early is the best way to go about it. And he's only going to get stronger and better. I know I sound like a broken record, but this is going to be a very, very fun college hockey season. We've had James Murray on the Hockey Hub from Everything College Hockey, who's going to be doing massive tours, giving a lot of content, but it's just like, the competitiveness is about to change. The landscape is changing. NIL is going to be bringing in so many more players to these schools that aren't even the top schools. So you're looking at underdogs and upsets. It's just going to be fantastic. So I think Hagens being back there for another year is just going to continue to scope a very skilled game. And he's going to get to build more chemistry with some other Bees prospects that are in the mix, because you got William Moore that's going to be in his first year at BC.
I would also say he's going to build his body.
Yeah.
Which, again, going back to draft night, I remember texting you and be like, how did he drop to 7? But a lot of the only knock, I can't even say a lot of the knock, the only knock on the kid, it wasn't skill, it was his size. He's not that big. He's kind of slight of build. Okay. Well, you get another year to get back in that damn weight room and get a little bit bigger and stronger, too. I think that'll help him and pay off dividends as well.
Well, yeah, because some of the physicality. I mean, again, this is a guy who's pretty much a wizard with the puck sometimes, so you kind of think that could be enough. But at the NHL level, when you go against these bullish teams, and we've seen how they can kind of muscle out skilled players, he doesn't want to be in that category, and he doesn't have to, committing to another year and whatnot. And, you know, it's great to see Mason Lohrei there, too. He had a tall task on his plate this previous season, you know, had a large amount of time on ice, and he had to kind of continue to learn and build his skill set and identity with this Bruins roster with more on his plate. And it's not easy to make that jump in time on ice. You know, you're working through different levels of fatigue as you're still trying to be, you know, impactful for everyone else. And defensively, that's a very nerve-wracking and very heavy weight to carry. So.
More hockey, more hockey, more hockey. NHL Network.
I miss it so much.
I know. They put out a list of their top 20 players. David Pastrnak and Charlie McAvoy land on this. So you get Pasta and McAvoy on this. You can't have a top 20 wings right now list without serving a Pasta. That's a great tweet right there. Pasta takes the penultimate spot on our list. So there you go.
Penultimate. What a word.
What a word.
Another year leading the back end for the Boston Bruins. Another year on the top 20 defensemen right now list. Charlie McAvoy, I mean,
Number
sitting
11.
at 11, and then considering the fact that after Four Nations, he wasn't able to make that comeback.
Right.
Look, you don't have to be in Boston to know that Charlie McAvoy is an insane defenseman, but also just how much things level up when he gets to reunite with Hampus Lindholm, which all signs are pointing go on that. And we talked about it at Hockey Hub yesterday, actually. Like, this is going to be exciting, whether you're looking forward to the upcoming season or not, because you're talking about a defensive pairing that's kind of instilled fear across the league when they're both healthy and they're both able to be involved. And Hampus Lindholm really hasn't been healthy since 2022. And when these two are paired up and they're both healthy, they're a defensive pairing that actually gets on the jump with leading with rush chances and opportunities. And I compare that to being something that this Bruins team can lean on going into this upcoming season, because we've seen the Flyers be touch and go for years. Last year, one of the leading teams with generating rushes, and they pissed off a lot of their opponents, and they made a lot of games closer than they should have been because of that. So to have your key defenseman or your key pairing back, if they stick together, that is going to be exciting, and we'll see if Charlie McAvoy climbs the list next year.
Okay, so that's where I'm going, because I want to ask you this. Pasta's number one, duh. I almost think he's so great, we damn near take him for granted.
Well, he's number two.
He's two? we take him for, he should be one. We take him for granted around.
Kucherov is number one.
Okay, respect.
Sorry.
He could be number one. But that's another topic for another day. But I do think, Pasta's automatic. He's great. We know that. McAvoy, though, I think has a potential to have a big year and climb on this list. He's 11 on this list. I think he can be higher than that, which you just alluded to. What will it take for him to level up and have that kind of year and move up?
Yeah, not to be obvious, but health being on his side. Because you could see, I know it's funny because when I first got here, I got to do Hockey Hub with Brick, and I love sitting around and being able to talk with Brick. But you just talk about somebody that helps this team command the neutral zone. And when he's not in the lineup, when he's not able to play with the Bruins, you just kind of see some of that play lapse. So he's a leader in a sense of where he can help them get to the middle of the ice, have that neutral zone play. And then, of course, he's a big piece when it comes to getting the power play snapping. So just kind of having him back in those positions, but then also his perspective and why he's so impactful in that sense, then he can help other eyes kind of line up and get together in that sense. All
right, here we go. I've been waiting for this in trending. The Red Sox will host a Jarren Duran look-alike contest. I can't even say it with a straight face. Look-alike contest this coming Saturday.
Do you know how many times I read this tweet?
I love when they do this stuff. I remember a Tom Brady look-alike. Like, all this stuff is fantastic to me. What are you anticipating coming out of this this weekend?
Oh, my gosh. Okay, so I think it's going to get a little reckless, but obviously in the most comedic way possible. So a friend of the program, Jared Carabas from Section 10, actually mentioned something about like the amount of TikToks that women put out on Jarren Duran. So for some reason, I'm thinking to myself, this is going to get a little hazy. I wouldn't be surprised if just some of his female fans show up trying to look like their favorite guy.
They should be the judges, right?
They really should be.
They should be the judges.
Yes, because the time it takes to wait around to maybe get a handshake from the guy, I mean, hats off. But I feel like I wouldn't be surprised to see some of that in a comedic aspect, them trying to emulate their favorite player, and then like the looks, you know what I mean? Like Duran's had certain looks after games that I feel like the guys are going to come in strong on. So this is funny.
What contest would you enter where you feel like you would win, like a celebrity look-alike? I'm going to go Chili from TLC.
I have gotten that before.
I feel like you give me those vibes. I always growing up, I always got the black dude from Clueless.
Oh, my God.
I think he's in Scrubs or something. I did get Jay-Z for a long time, and I got Dr. Dre for a long time.
Wow.
So I could enter 3.
Those are good.
I don't know if I'd win them, but I'd enter those 3.
Those are good. I've gotten Chili quite a bit. And then when I was a spin instructor still quite a couple years ago, somebody came into the studio and was like, do you watch The Bachelor? The Tasha girl.
Hold up. Google. What's her name? Y'all help me out at home, too.
Tasha or something?
Like Geisha girl, but with a T?
Maybe. Like, I think I just tried to spell it.
All right, wait a minute. Go on and tell the story. I'm going to look this up.
But yeah, I had this like couple come into the studio, and as I'm like checking them in before my class, they're like, do you watch The Bachelor? Like, you two look absolutely alike.
No, you
and
don't.
So
you look better than her, respectfully.
That's
look
so
better
kind
now.
of you.
You look better.
But no, I mean, look, I think she's gorgeous. I thought it was a nice compliment, but I didn't know who she was because I stopped watching at that point because I did enjoy The Bachelor and Bachelorette. I think those are the main two that I've gotten. This is going to sound ridiculous, but I'm only just throwing it into the mix. My best friend Adriana one day was just like, you do things similar to like Jennifer Lopez, like my smile in a sense or something like that, or my nose and my smile. She's like, she tapered it off in one spot. That's not me saying any of this. So anyone that wants to go reckless in the comments, relax.
Okay. Don't be fooled by the rocks that she got. She's just Casey from the block.
I had long blonde hair though.
Uh-oh, wait a minute. Where? Where? Is it around here right now? Toby, get that blonde hair for Casey from the block. Thank you. We'll work on that in the break.
Coming out of college, my hair was like down to here, and I had like a blonde ombre. Yeah. I just chopped off my hair.
We got to bring this back.
Ugh.
We got to bring this back.
That feels like blackmail.
What do you mean? Come on. Hey, I always tell y'all, get in here, get involved. Help me, help us. We need the blonde look. 617-790-0928. Just call. If you want the same thing as me, just call, let it be known. That's all. It's a family show. We all family here. We just talking.
That's just you trying to convince me to put the blackmail pictures out there.
True. All right, before we go to break, black dude from Clueless, Jay-Z or Dr. Dre? Go, which one?
Dr. Dre.
Damn.
I can't remember what the dude from Clueless looks like. You put me on the spot.
Well, who has the most money out of them three? Actually,
Jay-Z.
Oh.
Yeah.
I was going to say
But
maybe
like,
Dre.
not to be rude, I've seen Jay-Z's got a lot of hair right now.
Jay-Z got Beyonce, so he wins.
I was just thinking of the hair. That's all.
Discussion over.
I was being too literal.
That's true.
Yeah.
Hey, when we come back here on Boston Has Entered the Chat, more celebrity lookalikes, but also we will talk about the Red Sox last night and what went wrong. We'll hear from Alex Cora, so roll with us there. Travis Thomas and Casey from the block.
Oh my God.
Keep it locked here on Boston Has Entered the Chat.
I knew it shouldn't have come up. I knew it shouldn't have come up. I panicked.
Back inside the Salem 5 studios here for Boston Has Entered the Chat. Now we have to talk about the Red Sox who lose the series in H-Town 2-1. They lose last night 4-1. But you know what, Case? I may surprise you here. I actually thought Buehler pitched well enough to win the game. Not that he was great or anything, but I'm not going to put blame on him like I was prepared to do watching the game.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought we were coming in hot with.
I know.
I had some things to protect him.
I know. This is hashtag growth for me. And this is all because of you, because
you're welcome.
He didn't pitch terrible. He didn't pitch great either, but he got no run support at all.
None.
At all.
None.
So I can't put the blame on him because he's given me what I asked for. You and I talked about this with him, Giolito, Dustin May, who did give you that in his last outing.
Yeah.
Can you just be consistently solid? No one's anticipating greatness from you. If you give it to us, great.
Yeah.
But just be consistently solid, serviceable, and then these bats will back you up and we'll be okay. The bats did not back him up last night, and the problem was twofold. He didn't get run support, and also this Hunter Brown kid for the Astros. I mean, he pitched his arse off. So it wasn't really Buehler's fault, but this is a Jekyll and Hyde of the Red Sox that drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Because 24 hours ago, you put up football numbers against the Astros. You scored 14 runs.
Two tutties.
So, and then all of a sudden last night, where is everyone?
Yeah, Ethan made a great joke to say maybe like they should have saved some of the runs to carry over the next day. Could be too soon for the joke, who knows? But in terms of the run support, you're 100% correct, because if we would have seen something a little bit more, we don't know exactly how that performance would have panned out. I mean, realistically, Trevor Story was the only one that gave that lineup a little bit of a pulse. When you've got Norman Anthony, Alex Bregman, and Duran combining for 0 hits at the plate, like that's pretty wild. And you're talking about guys who have been so consistent and at least being that spark, especially Roman Anthony yesterday, from clutch to historic. And then, it's not a finger pointing game, but that's going to be a tough thing to climb out of when you're getting no bats out of your 1 through 3. And then taking it back to Buehler for a second.
Sure.
Because you're right. Wasn't a sexy performance. And then to come off the Padres thing, we were just kind of hoping for there to be a pull from that.
Yeah.
Not entirely his fault, but still kind of some wonkiness throughout it. It started being pointed out kind of how like lukewarm to cold opens for him and kind of lukewarm to cold closes for him. So going and looking at the numbers MLB provides, first inning, 8.10 ERA, allowed 28 hits, 16 runs, and 6 home runs. So, like, batters have an opportunity to get one out of the park on him in the first inning. But the first inning's not the only place where it gets a little touch and go there. The fourth inning, 12.63 ERA, 29 hits, 25 runs, 7 home runs. So you're talking about these two really key innings where things just kind of take a little bit of a slippery slope, and it's tough to see because the good things in between, you just kind of getting that good start that sets the tone. And if you're not going to get run support and you can't get off to a better start, it's just kind of like, where do we go from here? Things are heating up. We're pushing for this postseason stretch, and pitching is questionable right now.
It is, and you and I have talked about this. Of you have to be able to win on the road too if you're going to be a bona fide playoff team.
Yep.
Now the good news, in the short term, you know, kind of micro here is you get 5 at Fenway now. You get tonight off and then 5 at Fenway, 3 against the Marlins, 2 against the O's. Great news. Okay, get back on track. All good. But the reality, macro, big picture here is like, look, you're not gonna have a deep playoff run. If it is this Jekyll and Hyde, if it is the pitching pitches well enough for you to win, if you give them some run support, one night you do, the next night you don't. Like you can't be hot one night and then be colder than a polar bear's toenails the next night.
You know what's
like,
tough? It's like you have one of those.
You're getting bounced.
It's like you have one of those bowls at home and you write no run support, no scoreless extra innings, tough night for pitching.
Right.
And then you throw it in the thing and you're like, what are we going to get tonight?
Yeah, that's exactly right. You're picking it out of a hat. You don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
It's fun. And during the regular season, you can ride the roller coaster. But once you get in the postseason, is it identity that we're talking about? Do they have an identity? I mean, the identity right now, if someone asked me, what's a Red Sox identity? I would say they're a fun team. They have a really good mix of youth and veteran leadership. I would say they're tough as $2 steak tips. They're definitely tough. They fight. But maybe when you get into the postseason, that isn't enough. You need a little more, what do you do on the field identity? Does that make sense? Like, is it pitching? Is it hitting? Is it a balance? Maybe it's a lack of identity. As we talk this out, they got to, there's time still to kind of, I guess, figure that out before the postseason gets here. But if it's what we're seeing here in this series, they're going to get bounced early.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's identity, because outside of just referring to them as the fun team, I think that we've seen a lot more identity. I mean, solidifying Roman Anthony as your leadoff, you know what I mean? Like, they're starting to get less movement going on in the lineups, which kind of tells you that they're leaning towards knowing, like, where they can deliver and who they are as a team. But you know, that's just part of the puzzle. And this is something that just became consistent, what, a week, 2 weeks ago? Like, when did Roman Anthony solidify that leadoff spot? So now, once you make those decisions, finding that cohesion and then getting the consistency. Consistency doesn't come before cohesion. So I think that they know who they are and who they want to be. Yeah. It's just the show up of it, you know?
Well, one thing's for sure, Alex Cora is guiding this ship. And in last night's game, the frustrations boiled over, which we understand. Well, my man got tossed up out of there. And after the game, he talked about it.
First of all, they got it right. They got the call right, you know. The only thing for me is, like, we've seen that situation before, that guys have a regular windup and they ask the guys to declare. You don't have to declare if you have a regular windup. It's only if you have a hybrid windup. That's when you have to declare, because that way you're not deceiving the runner. But throughout the last 2 years, we've seen situations that it's a regular windup and they have asked the pitcher to declare. That was the only thing. And then I went out there just to educate myself, to be honest with you. That's what I told him. I want to learn. I want to know. I don't know if he took it that I was being sarcastic. I wasn't. And then I was walking back and he threw me out. I hate getting thrown out. My job is to be in the dugout and help this team to win games from the dugout. This whole thing about rallying the troops and all that, my job is to be in the dugout. That's something Dave Dombrowski taught me in 18, and I try to stay there as much as possible.
Huddy and Duran, that's what they saw.
Yeah, we all did. We all did because of situations like that. But, you know, we'll talk to the league. They got it right. They got it right.
It's funny, hearing him talk, right? And he says, I don't get thrown out often. I don't believe that rallies the troops or anything like that. I actually appreciated it from him because I felt as though watching that game, the Astros had a sense of urgency, and they better, because those Mariners are on their tail. And if they lose that game last night, the Mariners now all of a sudden are the division leaders. So the Astros are in a fight anyways in their own postseason world. We know the Sox are too. But I actually like when Cora shows that fire and does get thrown out. I know that's not his intention, but I do think it didn't last night, I guess, in terms of the result of the game.
Yeah.
But I do think it does rally the troops. And I think this Red Sox team needs a little more sense of urgency, the same way the Astros were playing with.
I don't think it gives his team a sense of urgency because, like he kind of closed out with, he wants to be in the dugout because where's he most useful?
True.
You know what I mean? Is being there, being with the guys. So I feel like you get a stronger rally being able to be in the present moment and vocalize the things that you're seeing and have these conversations and manage the expectations and the emotions of your players.
Yeah.
When you're not there, now they're kind of pivoting to not focus on what's happened with you.
Sure.
And yeah, you want to protect, your manager. You want to still show up for him, but now that guidance is no longer in the mix. So I feel like sometimes it doesn't rally the troops the way that one would think. If you got everybody running onto the field to protect one another because there's a brawl and somebody's shitting off their mouth, that's different. That rallies you up because as soon as the guys get back to the dugout, they're like, oh, I was just coming out there to make sure he didn't touch you and you and you.
Yeah.
So I just feel like it's something that's kind of tough. It's not an energy matcher, in my opinion.
Okay, we're back at Fenway now. 3 against the Marlins, 2 against the O's starting tomorrow night. Let me rattle these pitchers off to you, okay?
Go for it.
Giolito, Bayo, Crochet, May, Buehler. 4-1.
Giolito, Bayo, Crochet, May. Who'd you close out with?
Buehler. What do you think? 4-1? I'm thinking 4-1. I think one of these boys is getting swept, whether it's the Marlins or the O's. I mean, the O's is short. It's 2 games.
Aren't the Marlins kind of feeling themselves right now?
Right now. Maybe you take 2 out of 3 from the Marlins, sweep the O's. You with me on that? I'm going to go 4-1.
I'm going to go sweep the Marlins, take 2 from the O's.
Sweep the Marlins, take... Oh, wait, what? You're going 5-game win streak?
No.
Oh, I was about to start partying in here. It's too early to get to drinking, but I was about to pop a bottle on you.
You got to check your co-host's pulse.
I went 4-1. I think 4-1's realistic-ish.
Yeah, I think 4-1's
maybe 3-2, but I would feel better with 4-1. That's for damn sure.
Well, they're definitely going to come back home, feeling about how everything went on out west. So we already said about the Fenway atmosphere, but more importantly, regardless of wins and losses, this is a very talented group.
No doubt. Hey, 617-790-0928. If you want to talk Red Sox with us, get in here. By the way, the party don't stop here on Nesson. Although we're saying bye here, it continues and carries over on Nesson Nation. Join us there, would you? Every day, Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. on Nesson Nation, 8 a.m. right here on Nesson. Peace.